parties have a rhythm to them, don't they? The music pulses through your chest, the laughter gets louder as the night goes on, and everything feels exactly where it should be. That's what Maya thought when she arrived at the off-campus house that Friday night in October. The place was packed, bodies pressed together in every room, the air thick with sweat and cheap cologne, and that particular energy that only comes when 200 people are trying to forget about Monday's exam. She'd been to parties before, plenty of them, but there was something about this house that felt different from the moment she stepped through the door. Maybe it was the way the floorboards creaked under the weight of all those dancing feet, or the way the lights seemed too dim in the corners where people gathered in small groups. Maya's roommate, Jen, had dragged her here with promises of meeting new people and letting loose after a brutal week of midterms. They'd arrived together, pushed through the crowd together, got drinks together. But somewhere between the kitchen and the makeshift dance floor in the living room, Maya lost sight of her. One moment, Jen was right beside her, laughing at something a guy in a backward cap was saying, and the next she was gone, swallowed by the sea of bodies. Maya tried calling her phone. No answer. She pushed through the crowd, checking every room on the first floor, asking people if they'd seen a girl in a red jacket. Nobody had. That's when Maya noticed the door at the end of the hallway, the one everyone seemed to be avoiding. It was slightly ajar, and from where she stood, she could see stairs leading down into darkness, a basement. The music was quieter here, muffled by distance and walls, and she could hear something else now. Voices, maybe, or just the house settling, she couldn't tell. She thought about Jen, about how she'd sometimes wander off when she drank too much, looking for quiet spaces away from the chaos. Maybe she'd gone down there to escape the noise, to catch her breath, to be alone for a minute. Maya pulled out her phone, turned on the flashlight, and started down the stairs. The temperature dropped with each step. The air down here was different, stale and heavy, like it had been trapped for years. Her phone's light cut through the darkness in a narrow beam, revealing concrete walls covered in old water stains and peeling paint. The basement was bigger than she expected, stretching back into shadows that her light couldn't reach. She called out Jen's name. Her voice echoed back to her, hollow and wrong. She took another step, then another, her sneakers scuffing against the dusty floor. That's when she saw them. Pictures. Dozens of them. Maybe hundreds, taped to the walls. They were all photographs of people at parties, candid shots taken without the subjects knowing. Students drinking, dancing, kissing, laughing. Normal party pictures, except for one detail that made Maya's skin crawl. In every single photograph, one person was circled in red marker. Always the same person in each photo, but different people across different pictures. And beneath each circled face, a date was written in the same red marker. Maya moved closer to one of the walls, her hands shaking as she held up her phone. The dates went back years. Some were from last semester, some from 2 years ago, some even older. She recognized a few faces, students she'd seen around campus, though she couldn't remember their names. Another picture showed a guy she'd met at orientation, circled and dated from freshman year. She definitely hadn't seen him since then. Had he transferred? Dropped out? The question felt heavier now, weighted with implications she didn't want to consider. She heard a sound then, from deeper in the basement. Not the house settling, not the muffled party upstairs. This was deliberate. Footsteps, slow and measured, coming from the darkness beyond her phone's light. Maya froze. Her heart hammered against her ribs. She wanted to run, wanted to scream, wanted to do anything except stand there in that basement surrounded by those horrible pictures. But her body wouldn't listen. The footsteps got closer. She could hear breathing now, steady and calm, like whoever was down here wasn't afraid at all, like they knew exactly where she was and exactly what was going to happen next. "You shouldn't have come down here," the voice came from the darkness, male, older than a college student, familiar in a way that made her stomach turn. She knew that voice. She'd heard it before, but where? They never listen. They always have to see for themselves. The footsteps stopped. Maya could feel someone standing just beyond the reach of her phone's light, watching her, waiting. Her phone slipped in her sweaty palm. She thought about the pictures on the wall, about all those circled faces and dates, about her sociology classmate and the guy from orientation, about Jen, how she disappeared into the crowd upstairs, about how Maya had followed her down here looking for her. That's when she saw it, another picture, newer than the others, still tacky with recently dried marker. It was from earlier tonight, taken right outside this house. Maya could see herself in the background, walking toward the front door with Jen. But Jen was the one circled in red, and the date beneath the circle was today's date. Maya's phone slipped from her hand, clattering to the concrete floor. The light spun wildly for a moment before settling at an angle that illuminated a pair of shoes standing just 10 feet away. Work boots, old and scuffed, spattered with something dark that looked wet in the harsh light. Above the boots, she could make out the edge of jeans, a dark jacket, and then nothing. The person's upper body still hidden in shadow. "Your friend's already upstairs," the voice said, sleeping it off in one of the bedrooms. "She won't remember anything tomorrow. None of them do." Maya's mind raced. She thought about her phone on the ground, about the stairs behind her, about how far she'd have to run to reach them, about whether she could make it before those work boots started moving. "But you," the voice continued, and now she could hear something else in it, something like amusement. "You're different. You came looking. You saw the pictures. That changes things." Maya didn't wait to hear what came next. She lunged for her phone, grabbed it without looking, and ran. She hit the stairs at full speed, taking them two at a time, her shoulders slamming against the wall as she careened around the corner at the top. The door was right there, still open, light and music pouring through from the party beyond. She burst through the door, stumbled into the hallway, and kept running. People stared at her as she pushed past them, probably thinking she was just another drunk girl who'd had too much, but she didn't care. She found Jen exactly where the voice had said she'd be, passed out on a bed in one of the upstairs rooms, her red jacket still on, her phone dead on the nightstand beside her. Maya shook her awake,
Jen, wake up.
pulled her to her feet, and
Jen,
dragged her
Jen.
out of that house
Oh, wake
without
up, please.
explaining why. They reported it the next day. The police came, investigated, found the basement exactly as Maya described, but there were no pictures on the walls, no evidence of anyone living down there or using it for anything except storage. The house's residents, all seniors, said they'd never had any problems, that the basement door was supposed to be locked during parties, that they had no idea how it had gotten opened. The police took Maya's statement, thanked her for her time, and that was it. No arrests, no follow-up. Just another college kid who'd had too much to drink and imagined things in a dark basement. But Maya knows what she saw. She knows those pictures were real, knows that voice was real, knows that someone in that house or connected to that house has been marking students for years. She checks the campus newspaper now, every week, looking for names of students who've gone missing or transferred suddenly or just stopped showing up to class. There are more than she expected, more than there should be. And sometimes, late at night when she can't sleep, she wonders if her name is on that wall now too. If somewhere in that basement, in a picture she didn't see, her face is circled in red, with today's date written beneath it.
Hey, it's me again. Whisper normal college party until one girl went looking for her friend. Subscribe so I can whisper the next one to you.